Thanks for joining us on TVC News at 7. We'll begin on a sad note, where 3 bodies have been recovered following the crash of a Sikorsky SK-76 helicopter near Bonifenima in the Atlantic Ocean. The helicopter, operated by East Wind Aviation, was en route from the Port Harcourt military base to the Nuimatan oil rig with 8 people on board when it went down earlier today. The Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has directed search and rescue teams to intensify efforts to locate any remaining survivors. Although no emergency locator transmitter signal was received, manual tracking is underway, and the military, along with other agencies, has deployed aircraft and personnel to assist. The Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau and other relevant authorities are leading the operation, with neighboring aerodromes providing additional support. Minister Keyamo assured the public of the government's commitment to a swift and coordinated response, pledging full support to the families of those affected. Meanwhile, the NNPC Limited has confirmed the crashed helicopter was conveying its staff from Port Harcourt. Let's now bring in our correspondent in Rivers State, Uche Okoro, for some more information on this. Uche, what are you hearing about this crash, and what more can you tell us about this unfortunate incident?
Very sad news coming from the Bonny local government area. Even though sources on ground there in Bonny local government area have informed me that the incident happened approximately 8 hours by boat from the Bonny Island. You know, there's a bit of some confusion as to why the name Bonny was mentioned, because the information is that this incident happened at about 8 hours by boat from Bonny Island itself. But initially, when this news broke, there was a lot of apprehension in the town itself. People began to run helter-skelter trying to figure out where exactly this happened. But eventually, they realized that this did not happen anywhere close to the ground where the residents would have been able to access or would have been able to spot the accident. 8 hours by boat is a long way off. From Port Harcourt city to Bonny local government by boat is approximately 2 hours. So it's a very sad one coming from Bonny there. The helicopter, as we know, was going offshore to an offshore loading platform when it dipped into the water. From information I'm also gathering, though I'll not want to be specific as to figures, but I'm also hearing that the number of persons were rescued. We know that there were 6 passengers and 2 crew members on board. We're hearing that the number of persons were rescued. We'll wait for the authorities to clarify as to the figures and as well as the identities. But that's as much as we know right now. Rescue operation still ongoing. We have the Navy forward operating base. We have a very active naval base in Bonny local government area, the Navy forward operating base. So we expect that the Nigerian Navy will be heavily involved in the search and rescue operation, assisted by, of course, the air components of other government agencies. Right now, we expect to get more information from the authorities going forward.
All right, Uche Okoro, I'll be getting that information from you when you're able to receive it. Uche Okoro for us in Port Harcourt. Now, we're in Abuja, where the Nigerian Senate today received a fresh list of 7 ministerial nominees sent by President Tinubu for consideration, screening, and confirmation. The list was transmitted to the Senate through a letter which was read by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, at plenary earlier today. President Tinubu's request has been submitted to the Committee of the Whole for immediate consideration. President Tinubu reshuffled his cabinet on Wednesday, discharging 5 of his 47 ministers and appointing 7 persons as ministers, pending Senate confirmation. Now to security news. The National Defense College is enhancing the capacity of military officers and personnel from relevant ministries, departments, and agencies to effectively counter the financing of terrorism, especially in the country. Sifon Essien reports.
Terrorism, a global menace, has stifled development in various parts of the world for decades. According to the 2022 Global Terrorism Index, the epicenter of terrorism has shifted to the Central Sahel region in sub-Saharan Africa. Between 2011 and 2023, Boko Haram caused massive destruction with property damage worth billions of naira and more than 38,000 lives lost across parts of Cameroon, Chad, Niger, and Nigeria. This crime persists largely due to illicit funding of terrorism. In 2014, Boko Haram's financing amounted to over $65 million. This seminar, organized by the National Defense College for participants of Course 8, focuses on countering terrorism financing by leveraging global and regional institutional mechanisms for national action.
You will agree with me that terrorist organizations have demonstrated significant financial capabilities over the years. Research findings have shown that ISIS generated between $1 to $2 billion annually.
The platform emphasizes the importance of both local and international collaboration in combating terrorism financing.
There are so many variables that are making terrorism attractive in this region, including deadly conflicts, weakening of central authorities, and also proliferation of military regimes.
The goal is to strengthen collaboration among various agencies to track and cut terrorism financing. Sifon Esi, TVC News, Abuja.
Military troops in the Niger Delta area discovered and destroyed 33 crude oil cooking ovens, 19 dugout pits, 41 boats, 70 drums, 22 storage tanks, and 47 illegal refining sites. Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, who disclosed this at a news conference where he gave updates on military operations across the country, said efforts have been scaled up to curb crude oil theft. As of September, crude oil output dropped to about 1,324,000 barrels per day.
There has been significant increase in the nation's daily crude oil production. At the time that the instructions were given, at that time, the daily crude oil production was around 1.1, 1.2. But today, we are talking about 1.7, getting close to 1.8. And I can assure you that we will increasingly make progress as we get towards the end of the year.
Elsewhere, the Minister of Defense, Abubakar Badaru, has charged troops of Northwest Operation Fansarayama to capture bandit leader Bello Turji and others alive. President Bola Tinubu, according to him, is committed to improving the welfare of security personnel, but wants them to end insecurity in all parts of the country. The minister spoke while addressing the troops at the headquarters of the theater operation in Gusau.
And the country. He is ready to provide all you need to end the insecurity in the Northwest and in Nigeria. I thank you and pray that we will get to the end of this as quickly as possible. I have some reassurances from the commanding officer, and I am pleased and I am sure we will reach the goal. Are we ready to finish with them? Yes, sir. Are we ready to end it? Yes, sir.